Hey everybody, welcome back to the Thinking Crypto channel. What a wild week it was for Bitcoin and the crypto market, guys. Elon Musk and tons of FUD. I want to break it all down and talk about the impact on this crypto bull run that we're in. Are we still on track? What the hell is happening, right? Are we going to see more gains or not? Are we cooling down for a little bit? We're going to go through all of it, and of course, I'm going to show you the facts, the trends, the data, not emotions, not feelings, not tribalism or maximalism. Let's talk data here. So before I get into it, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up button, leave a comment below, and hit the subscribe button if you're new here. It helps support the channel, and it doesn't cost you anything. Guys, friendly reminder, I have a free weekly newsletter. Link in the description. Please sign up. It helps support the channel. So look at this sea of red, guys. Bitcoin under $45,000. Ethereum back under $3,500. Binance coin at $542. The only thing that doesn't seem to be falling is Cardano. It is at $2.14. So congrats, guys, to those of you who are holding Cardano. I have some in my portfolio. Dogecoin just over 49 cents, XRP at $1.40. So it's red across the board. And something as I always remind you guys, the market moves with Bitcoin. It doesn't matter what FUD, what people say, if they love or hate, or they're happy or sad, whatever. Bitcoin moves the market about 95% of the time. There are periods where you have some altcoins will pump and they'll go on their own, right? And generally you have, after a Bitcoin pump, an alt season. But Bitcoin moves the market, and it doesn't matter what people tell you, even if they say, hey, this coin is better than Bitcoin, and there's a lot of coins that are better than Bitcoin from a utility standpoint. But the people who don't understand Bitcoin's use case don't understand the monetary fiscal issues that are happening globally of money printing and inflation. They simply don't grasp that, right? But that's okay. That's why you need to study and understand the facts, not emotions here. So Bitcoin right now, as you can see, huge red candles on the daily chart. But something I always point you guys to is the zoom out. And if we look at the weekly, you can see here, it looks just as a correction on the way up, right? And if you look at 2017 here, how we moved in historically, there were red candles on the way up. So this is a red candle on the way up, and I believe we have higher highs to go. I do believe Bitcoin is going to hit 75K next in a next leg up. Then as an all-time high, I should say. And then I think we'll have another cooling off period. Then we'll head to $100,000. And why do I say that? Because I'm dreaming of it, or because I know the future? I'm looking at the data and trends. And yes, I don't know what the future holds, but we can at least look at the close approximation based on facts and data and trends, right, guys? That's what we got to look at. So let's look at some data points here. Now, right now, and you may have seen me tweet this, the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index is at a 20. Extreme fear. I love it. Market psychology playing out. People getting very nervous, very scared, obviously with the Elon news. And there's even some notes or people talking about, could Tesla be selling off their Bitcoin? Let's see what happens. Elon said they're going to stop accepting Bitcoin. He said they're still holding their Bitcoin, but I don't know if he was trolling, but him and Bitcoin maximalists were going at it on Twitter. So he kind of made an indirect threat of saying, yeah, indeed, I'm going to sell off, kind of like, responding to someone talking about selling off Bitcoin. But let's take a look at some other data points here. The Bitcoin RSI, the Relative Strength Index from Plan B. He said, we are at the typical mid-bull cycle drop in RSI, yellow circles, in between 2013 and 2017. Excited about the next couple of months. So as you can see here, historically, the market went into a cool down period, and that's okay in a bull market. You can't have something that goes straight up in a straight line, because market psychology has to play out. Sometimes things get into the oversold standpoint, or the overbought, and I should say the overbought scenario, and then it has to go to maybe an oversold, and then it has the momentum to go back up, right? And yes, I've been buying the dips, not financial or investment advice. So we are still on track. This is not something new per se in the history of Bitcoin if you look at the data now. Not emotions, not feelings. I can't stress that enough. Yes, I hold Bitcoin in my portfolio, but it's not my number one. XRP is my number one. Ethereum is my number two. Bitcoin is my number three. So I do want Bitcoin to do well, but I also need to be realistic and I need to look at data. So the fundamentals and the technicals are here, guys, signifying that we still have a next leg up to go. All right, you want more? Here's the stock to flow model. And as you can see here, we are on track. We're still on track. A little slight pullback here with the price, but that's okay. These slight pullbacks have happened historically on the way up. So Plan B said, net result after Turkey ban, U.S. tax FUD, fake Toshi lawsuits, Elon/Tesla energy FUD, is that Bitcoin is 5x higher than approximately 6 months ago. And both the stock to flow model X model, both the stock to flow X model plus on-chain data indicate that we are only halfway this bull market. I would not be surprised to see another 5x in the next approximately 6 months. So I'm also on the same boat, on the same thought along those lines. Okay, you want more data? Dan Moorhead, macro investor. I've interviewed him on my channel, and he has a $115,000 price prediction by August. Here's what he had to say with his respective 10-year Bitcoin price trend. Disruptive technologies like Apple, Amazon, and Bitcoin look crazy when you graph them in standard format. However, when you graph them exponentially, their steady growth becomes apparent. Bitcoin being remarkably steady, the CAGR of 230% over 10 years. And you can see here from the chart, he has his price prediction of $115,000, $212 at the August point or date, I should say, or month, I should say. So he releases a newsletter, and he linked to his main newsletter. So these guys, as macro investors, they've invested in other markets and asset classes before crypto. So they know what they're doing, and they use a lot of data here. Even Ecoinometrics here, they have their macro level chart, and they follow the Bitcoin halving. So they said Bitcoin after the halving, May 16, 2021, 369 days after the third halving, BTC at $48,177. It is never pleasant when the price action is bad in the short term. So zoom out and think about the big picture. So when you zoom out and you're not looking at daily, weekly, even monthly, you're just looking at how things are trending. We are trending in the same direction as 2013, 2017 when you look at both of those respective charts. Now, what the top of Bitcoin will be, nobody knows. People have predictions like 550,000, 288, 100,000. So Dan Moorhead has 115. So higher highs are on the horizon. And if you look just based on the data and the demand, right? Despite the FUD we're seeing, even from Elon himself, even Raoul Pal, another macro investor, right? A guy who's been investing all his life, and a former Goldman Sachs guy. He said, after the weekend FUD fest and shit fighting, let's get back to the important stuff. Buy the effing dip, right? Bitcoin is forming a wedge, most likely, perfectly normal correction and healthy. See, you put all the nonsense on crypto Twitter, Elon Musk aside, and you look at the technicals. Like I said, the fundamental and the technicals look solid, right? Now, I wouldn't say that if we were in a bear market, right? I would be like, okay, the fear index is high. We're in a bear market. Okay, show's over. But we are in a bull market and we haven't hit the top yet according to these macro level charts. So I bought the dip, like I said, and I think we're going to see a breakout. I think the people who are fudding a lot of maximalists and all these folks are going to look really dumb, honestly. So Raoul Pal also was responding to Lark Davis, who has a YouTube channel, of course, and what I've been talking about, guys, a Bitcoin ETF, and not just that. You have a Bitcoin ETF, you're going to get other crypto ETFs, Ethereum, XRP, and so on and so forth. It's going to bring a lot of capital in that is sitting on the sidelines, such as retirement accounts and so on and so forth. Here's what he said. This is my view. The ETF is the next rocket fuel for this market. The wall of money keeps coming, but it takes time for everyone to get internal approvals. I have so many conversations helping hedge funds, family offices, and asset managers each week, all happening and more. Once again, who this guy is, macro level investor, huge Wall Street connections, Goldman Sachs, and so on and so forth. So these are the facts, guys. And I've done interviews with a lot of folks. Now, Elon, I don't know what he's doing, man. Michael Arrington is even kind of calling him out. Michael Arrington, this guy, is the founder of Arrington XRP Capital, and he owns Bitcoin. He was buying Bitcoin since, let's see here, on his Twitter account, he has the tweet pinned. In October 6, 2014, he tweeted buying Bitcoin. And of course, the guy's a millionaire, multimillionaire, right? Founder of TechCrunch. By the way, I'm in contact with him to set up an interview. So stay tuned. That interview, hopefully get it scheduled next week or the week after. You don't want to miss that one. But he tweeted, Elon wants to be the hero and Bitcoin won't let him. So Elon is kind of turning on Bitcoin in a way. I don't know what he's trying to do. Both Bitcoin and Dogecoin are proof of work coins, right? They're the mining process. And the concern of why he said Tesla is not accepting Bitcoin as payment anymore is because of the environmental impact. Well, what about Doge? Doge mines too. And if you're going to double down and help Doge mining, guess what? Doge mining is going to increase and it's going to have a higher carbon footprint than it does today. So I don't know what he's doing here, guys. I really honestly don't know. It's really weird. And it looks like, he responded to a tweet here where this crypto account, Mr. Whale or whatever, says Bitcoiners are going to slap themselves next quarter when they find out Tesla dumped the rest of their Bitcoin holdings. With the amount of hate Elon Musk is getting, I wouldn't blame him. And he replied, indeed. So I don't know what game he's playing. I don't care if he dumps his Bitcoin or what, because I honestly don't get what the hell is going on with this guy with Bitcoin and Doge. He's flipping narratives. I don't know if he's getting pressure from the government because he's getting subsidies. His companies are getting subsidies. Who knows at this point? But here's something else that's revealing. The Twitter handle Shibatoshi Nakamoto is one of the founders of Dogecoin, Billy, right? If you guys look up the history of Dogecoin. So he's under that respective handle. Elon tweeted, to be clear, I strongly believe in crypto, but it can't drive a massive increase in fossil fuel use, especially coal. So Billy replies with a crying emoji. And then somebody asked Billy a question. Billy, when you made Dogecoin, did you try to consider energy usage, or was that something you thought about, not something you thought about? How can the dev community make Doge more efficient? He replied saying, I made Doge in like 2 hours. I didn't consider anything. The creator is talking about this, right? And it's kind of calling out Elon too. Like, what? Like, I started this as a joke, dude. I don't understand what's going on. So this whole thing is weird. I don't know what the hell, Elon. Look what he's saying. Ideally, Doge speeds up block time 10x, increases block size 10x, and drop speed 100x. Then it wins hands down. This is what Elon wants to do with Doge, but even the founder and some of the developers are not on board. So I don't understand what he's trying to do here. He has Bitcoin on Tesla's balance sheet. He says he owns Bitcoin personally, and now he's trying to bash Bitcoin and try to boost Doge's ability to mine and get better. But it's the same proof of work. So I don't get what he's contradicting himself, is essentially what I'm trying to say. Now, this is interesting along the lines of Bitcoin mining. Upstate NY, New York, Bitcoin miner Greenidge to offset rigs carbon emissions. The power station that sparked controversy over a Bitcoin mining expansion plan will also invest in renewable energy projects. So Bitcoin mining is happening around the United States and around the world. And there are companies looking for renewable energy options. I think they should. I do believe, Bitcoin mining should be, energy friendly and have less of a carbon footprint. I absolutely agree with that, right? You guys know I keep it real. This is about facts. I'm here to make money, but I also call things as they are, right? I don't have time for maximalism or tribalism or emotional. Bitcoin is a great store of value. From an environmental standpoint, it's not great. They need to fix that. Do I think Bitcoin's dead or it's going away? Hell no. Because if once again, people who are bashing it, comparing it to XRP and other things, Bitcoin's not trying to compete with XRP. Bitcoin's not trying to move money and be a bridge asset or whatever, right? It is becoming a store of value, and the free market has chosen it that way as a digital gold standard, right? It's competing against gold and other precious metals as a store of value. So you have XRP maximalists going crazy, tweeting FUD about Bitcoin. It's like, what are you doing? You're wasting your time. Like, the money keeps coming into Bitcoin. Like, all they've been doing and saying since Bitcoin crashed last year, Bitcoin went up to 64,000, right? And obviously, we're in a market cycle where it's down, but so is everything else. Like I said, facts. Bitcoin moves the market. So guys, make sure you every tweet and everything you read and you hear from people, you back it up with facts. You go do your own research, right? Even what I'm telling you, go do your research and make sure I'm telling you the right thing, right? This is why I share these respective sources of what I'm reading and what am I pulling the data from. So Mark Cuban, of course, bullish on crypto, weighed in. He said, crypto and each implementation is evolving in real time from what is the potential utility to what is the current utility and how many users does it have. Token/coin prices are now less a bet on the future and more a reflection of real demand. Having more transactions per second and lower gas fees is not enough. There must be a current network effect and significant user growth. This is a challenge for most L1s and L2s because with few exceptions, marketing in the crypto universe is beyond awful. Crypto is a product-driven business. Each platform has to create demand for its products and /applications that outperform the non-crypto equivalents. Like any business, it needs customer sales and profits. Some of the crypto platforms I talk to now seem confused when I ask about their product sales, gross margin, dollars, and profits. But they truly matter. As in any other business, how can you share revenue with token holders if there isn't a plan to generate revenue? He continues here saying, there is so much competition at all levels. And the crazier part is that the competition for developers and users is so intense and so important that every L1, L2 is investing in almost anything. Why? Because they know their business is a zero-sum game. Without users, what value does a blockchain or L2 solution have? So he's talking about layer 1, layer 2 when he says L1, L2. But they still haven't figured out how to sell. They pay premiums to developers and for liquidity and validators, but invest little marketing to attract users. Then there is community. When participation is high, decentralized governance can be a thing of beauty, but there is little marketing being done to emphasize the impact governance can have on platforms and their products and services, which leads to confusion and less involvement. He says, I think over time, governance will be expected of all users and most will contribute by at least voting, but today it is little understood, and that is stunting some platforms' growth. So, he's talking about essentially crypto has to come to a point of adoption and utility, right? All this talk about, this is going to be the potential and this and that. Well, that's fine and dandy. That's only going to go for so long. You got to have the adoption. I agree with him. And, this is a guy coming from a business background. He's looking at this from a business standpoint. And eventually, as with all startups, right, you got to start making money soon. And how do you make money? You got to get adoption. You got to get people to start using it. So even like the folks who kind of trash Ethereum and its respective gas fees, which, yes, it's a problem they need to fix, Ethereum is getting adoption. And this is why you have to look at the market holistically. And you just don't look at the cons people tweet and people who are anti this and anti. Once again, the tribalism and maximalism can really blur your vision. You need to step back and say, what are the pros and what are the cons? What's actually happening? Despite what people are saying, is this blockchain getting adoption? Who's building on it? So on and so forth, right? Do the pros outweigh the cons? So those are things you have to take a look at. And I think Raoul Pal said it best. I actually responded to a question somebody asked me, why is there so much maximalism and tribalism in the market? Raoul Pal said it very well. This is a bit of human psychology. Cryptos have a network effect, and the larger the network, right, depending if it's Ethereum, XRP, Bitcoin, and so forth, the more value it brings to it. So there becomes a kind of an incentive to spread negativity about other cryptos that may be performing better because you want those users to bring their money to your portfolio or your network, right? And let's be honest, smart money doesn't operate like this. It's only amateur investors. And I think we're seeing that play out with crypto Twitter. It's pretty interesting. And yes, this goes for Bitcoin maximalists, XRP maximalists, Ethereum maximalists, whoever it is. So interesting things happening. Nevertheless, guys, I'm holding strong. I love seeing that the fear index is at extreme fear. That makes me bullish. When I was new to the market, it got me scared, but now I understand market psychology and market cycles, and this makes me bullish. What do you guys think? Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button, share this video, and I'll talk to you all later.